Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Snake Pass. Let's continue. So, my decision to kind of skip ahead, I think was the right move. We're now at Soggi's Realm 5, level 5, of what I suspect is probably 25 to 30 levels. We got something at the end of the first level. And we got the hint of a giant bird that that would. Alright. And I fall straight to my death. We got a hint of a giant bird who's going to be our main enemy. What I kind of wish we had here is there a way to loosen my tail? Like, could I, like, keep my head up high, bring myself up, and then flick my tail so that I touch things while keeping my head, which seems to be the way this really works, is it does seem like honestly, I don't get it. It's a simplistic pole that feels like you're supposed to do something like that, but it doesn't really work. Does perhaps, if I use the bird to lift me, does the bird then somehow have some control? So we're in this weird position where, one, we kind of don't know what all the collectibles are for. Dive in deep water while holding X. Okay, good to know. So, water levels in video games generally suck, but there is something to be said about it making sense in a mostly realistic game where you're playing as a snake, that snakes would go in the water, at least some of them would. And then, let's see. Is it right trigger to move forward? Still? I think it is. And now we've got switches. Wonder what will happen if you use the switch. I feel like the bird voice could have been voice acted here. This feels like a Kickstarter game that probably was well funded but not funded well enough. Because that's totally something I would have said would have made sense. I bet there's, of this character, probably less than a dozen lines of text, and I imagine even the programmer of the game themselves could potentially have voiced the bird, or found somebody to voice it. Like, I would much prefer to have bad voice acting than good voice acting, because there's never really been a situation at all that I can think of where a game just had such terrible voice acting that people rejected and didn't buy the game. If anything, bad voice acting has led to people being willing to buy a remaster or fund the continued development of a game. Right. I'm pulling forward. Alright. And I squashed myself. So do we think there might be a timer associated with this? My guess is no. It's a little funny how the snake is moving up in square step motions. Seems like you automatically dive. Yeah. It would be a little bit more kid friendly if you voiced the bird. The snake character doesn't even speak, so, or at least he hasn't yet. If the enemy, the main antagonist of the game, speaks at some point, that would be another voice. And we saw that the ghost of the natives spoke some lines of dialogue, so you'd have to put a couple of lines of voice acting there, but you hardly would pay that much. I saw what like the standard rate was for voice actors relatively recently. I'm not sure I fully remember the cost, but I think it was somewhere around $350 to $650 an hour. A cheap, low effort voice session of 3 or 4 hours. You're not talking about tens of thousands of dollars extra to have one voice actor play multiple parts, which is kind of all you would have needed. These are shiny. Nice. I'm making a slight drumming sound when I'm crawling over them. Seems like here I'd have to drop down. This is definitely more of a water level than I would have expected for the second level in the game, or the second group of levels. But it's not too bad. If anything, the reason why so many water levels are bad is because it takes the main movement mechanic of a game and completely ruins it and gives you a worse movement mechanic. In this case, I don't know if you really are getting a worse movement mechanic when you're in the water. You move faster in the water. It's the better movement mechanic. Okay. Lift me up. Slowly working my way up here because I'm gripping really tight, try not to die. There we go. And here we have a ball, so we're getting some more physical things to interact with. Little Unity physics things, I imagine. There's a coin down here. Alright, just drop my tail. Alright, now grab my tail. And let's get up and out of here. go. I think tail manipulation strategies are going to be involved in some of these collectibles. Like, the ball just rolled down there. Okay. And then okay. Come on. It really is a struggle. Every single one of these is just a puzzle to make sure you actually reach the height you want and you don't fall down. And some of these are getting crazier because they are putting you in positions where you're having a higher chance of falling to your death. Which I think an argument might be made that this game might have been a little bit more kid-friendly if it was on solid ground always and there was no let's see, there's no real system where you can fall off the edge. I don't know why I'm kind of going up here, but we'll see. I think I might be getting a bit of an understanding of how the tighten up mechanic is supposed to work. Like, get those, get the right angle, twist yourself around, and then jump in such a way that you're sure and certain of where you're supposed to be. There you go. The levels seem like they are going to be more challenging going forward. No more easy solutions. I'm just gonna give this the old college try as far as just looking around places. So if I see something that looks like I can collect it without a big hassle, that's fine. Interesting, when he's holding my tail, I can't do anything. What I would say is I did not collect all of these waters in the previous level. So the game's really dropping the ball as far as motivating me to collect anything, because I don't know what they do. And I don't think I skipped through some very important piece of text. Let's see. Is there... like, yeah, there's no hints or help or anything. Again, that's something that probably should be in this game, but is totally missing. Let's see. We go through these. It seems like sometimes if you're just close to a bamboo thing, you're fine. Your ability to move isn't actually directly connected towards having your feet on firm ground. So where is the warp area? Over there? Okay. So here we go. Squirm our way over here. And then I believe there was a collectible over here, which will give it one try, I suppose. Alright, now the struggle is going to be, can I get back up to where I was? Yep, seems like we made it. These collectibles, the green, a red, and a yellow, they mean basically nothing to me. Like, I kind of don't get the idea that green is supposed to be earth, or that red is supposed to be fire, or yellow is supposed to be, well, there's no blue, so no water. Earth, fire, life maybe in yellow, or energy, magic, something like that. Like it's, if they're supposed to represent something, they really don't. And if you had taken that thought further, and every single one of the 3 puzzle pieces had a tendency to be somewhere different, based on its theme, that would be interesting too. So if the green was always hidden in the earth, for instance, closest to the ground, but fire is always hidden around like a dangerous, well, fire in this game would probably be pretty good concept. In fact, there very well might be some fire just down that direction. I'm getting stuck on the bridge. You can't get this underwater view as well as I'd like. The first person perspective would be helpful, instead of having to kind of manipulate the camera. So here we're seeing some spikes, which one assumes the spikes will kill me. So yeah, having more of a thematic placement of the 3 keys would let the creator of the game think in a more kind of logical pattern as far as where things are going to be, whereas right now it seems like things are just kind of wherever you want them to be. Well, I got up there. Apparently that was the only thing I needed. So here we have a very dynamic movement, which a rotating platform like that would not usually be a problem, but being an incredibly slow snake, it actually is kind of a major problem. Like, that was not an easy transfer. And we have these little flowers, I mean feathers, showing that the antagonist is some kind of bird that's leaving these pieces. The thing I guess we might want to learn later on is if you have to play the whole level from scratch or not, because it would definitely be a different experience if I jump into a level and I have to collect all 5 coins in one playthrough versus jumping into a level and just collecting the 1 coin. Interesting. Rain is hitting the drums. And we have more of these statues. It kind of feels like we finished the first level and he gave us an item that doesn't do anything. Like, let's just hit all the buttons. That does that still. B does that. Right stick, left stick doesn't really do anything. Left bump, right bump is to zoom and zoom out. Left trigger and right trigger is to move. Up on the D-pad, down on the D-pad, all of that's just emoticons. Pressing the back button doesn't seem like it does anything. Let's see. We need to be very cautious around this one, because this is not going to be easy. It's definitely, yeah, and I kind of wish the bird was good enough that it could catch me and lift me back to a checkpoint at the very least, even if it didn't put me back where I was, because you lose a decent amount of progress just dying and or falling, getting moved back to a checkpoint. So we might be in trouble here. Let's just ignore the collectibles. Let's go down here and fall. Alright, we don't want to just fall. We want to wrap around a couple times. And I'm about to fall to my death, so I'm just gonna checkpoint there. And maybe we can work our way back. It is really just right in the middle. So this is tight. Basically have to target that direction, drop down, just wind up. Yeah, there's just a lack of skill I have. And this is dangerously one of those games where it may very well be the lack of skill that's gonna kill me. I may be able to beat the main game, but I may not be willing to take what was a relatively easy main game experience. How did I only collect 1 so far? Do you lose more of the water bubbles as you die? I don't think so. That would be kind of crazy. Let me see if there's anything else over here. yeah, I may not be so into playing this game if it really does boil down to just a major struggle. I guess that's the difference between, say, wanting to play Mario 64 in a modern day where you probably would just get the 70 stars or so that you need to beat the level, and if you had anything better or any other Mario game to play, you probably wouldn't bother to then try and collect all 120 stars. Or at least kids of a certain age wouldn't. Young kids tend to still be pretty obsessive and try to do everything. Although, at least that was my experience when I was a kid. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe kids aren't so obsessive now with access to Netflix and such. It may be a lot easier to be a lot more distracted these days. It certainly would be a lot easier to play a game, because no longer do you have to live with trying to find a walkthrough or player's guide in a library or in a store. You can just look online. Is this going to be a relatively easy experience, or is this going to be trouble? It probably is a one-way experience if I was to guess. Let's see. I don't count as a ball. I'm not heavy enough, apparently. Well, is there any really fast and easy way to move a ball as a snake-like creature? Not really. I think you just kind of keep your head up and crash into it. Since this does wind and twist a lot, you open yourself up to some getting in front of the ball. It seems fairly easy though. They put higher sections in the corners so it won't get stuck. But boy, is this taking longer than it would if you were any other character. This is almost a study in what would it be like to play a 3D puzzle adventure game like Mario 64 as a creature that had none of the special abilities that Mario had, and no real, like, really good at athleticism. Alright. Lift me up. That didn't help, but whatever. It should work relatively well. Of course, the problem seems to be that they're introducing spikes, and I can only assume spikes kill you on contact. Yeah. Spikes kill you on contact, and it seems like they kill you fairly well on contact, even if just your tail hits them. So we're getting into the danger zone where it is starting to feel like there's a chance that we're gonna have some major difficulty spike here. Down the slide we go. And down another slide we go. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in a weird position here because I feel like the game would be kind of nothing if they gave me even a few improvements as far as movement abilities. Like it would be fairly easy, but then also I could really use some of those improvements, some improvements on the movement abilities too, because there are things that are a little bit too much. I'm having trouble getting up here. And it can't lift my tail when I'm in the water. And I know from the looks of this feels probably to most people like absolutely nothing is happening, and that the snake is just moving on his own. But I effectively have close to direct control of the snake, and that is changing a lot of the experience. There you go. I'm gonna try and see if I can weave a high jump up here. There we go. Probably a redundant collecting there. I'm trying to see if there's anything under the water, and there is. So I'm realizing that you do kind of have to have the right bump. You have to use that quite a bit to zoom in the camera and get it to go underwater, otherwise you can't see. It's very possible there's something more over here, but only in the middle of that section does it really want to help us. Okay. Now I don't think we have all the pieces yet, so I think what I have to do is come over here. Probably be somewhat helpful to see. suddenly becomes pretty obvious why they put just a straight ramp here instead of something more challenging. We might as well touch the... Right. Seems like this is perfectly paced to be far enough. Wonder if there would be another way around this. Part of my problem probably stems from just not doing enough of a good job of letting go of the A button. Like, it feels like you kind of have to toggle between pressing the left trigger and the A button a lot here. Suppose it would be a little bit interesting if there really was only 10 levels in the game. That would leave me feeling a little shortchanged, to say the least, so I could see then wanting to try and get as much entertainment as possible out of it, and going back and getting all the collectibles, which I still mostly plan to do. I just am hoping that there might be something better, some improvement on the... Finally. Let's see. Come on. Let's get up here. And... Nope, no. Get up here and grind around that. And do that, and then get up here and grind around that. Feels like there should be a checkpoint just to reach that height. And these are just elevators, so kinda don't need to do anything there. But now we've got a problem. Seriously, game? Was there no other way to reach this? I don't think I have enough skill. Is there no other way up here? Let's see. Because maybe I'm just taking the hard way. Or maybe this game is a little unpolished, or majorly unpolished, because with the spikes we've literally hit a difficulty spike. And what's funny is you have a concept here of water to catch your fall if you make a mistake and be kind, and it is in the exact same place where they embrace cruelty to the maximum by giving you levels that also have spikes on them that kill you in one hit. So is this a checkpoint? Is the question I want to ask. And is there possibly a way to exit a level without collecting the 3 keys? No, not by the looks of it. And then down here, we want to keep an eye out and see if there's anything collectible over here. Yeah, there's a coin. Like the only coin. Actually, yeah. With the limited amount of checkpoints that this game has, it is pretty easy to lose progress on even the small bits of collectibles. Alright. So what I want to do is I'm going to try and wiggle between here and then get up to a height. Now, then can I wiggle my way up here, or am I going to hit an invisible wall? Let's see. Can I now wiggle up this wall? The snake almost has this feel of being something closer to, I'd say, like a centipede or caterpillar, with a more of a capability of getting to high places than it really should be able to reach. Alright, we're here, and okay. Then it becomes a matter of, can we get up there? And the answer is no. And could we get up there? And the answer is no. Yeah, unless I had some wall climbing ability that I got where I could go up vines. Oh, this game has just decided to screw me very, very early too. Like, major difficulty spike. And see, this is exactly what I was saying about the fact that if you were having trouble controlling the snake, this game is not going to get any better. It's so obvious that that's the case here. I think I'm stuck. I don't think I can go any further. I was like stuck between 2 rocks. Yeah, unless there's something I'm not understanding or getting. Like a small column like this, maybe I could go up, but I can't really go around or up an entire building this way. I don't know if I can get high enough here. Clearly what they want you to do is work your way back from a higher point. And see, this is just going to be motion sick inducing for a lot of people, isn't it? Like, yeah, this feels like you're not likely going to reach this. Maybe you could go over here and try something, but really don't have a lot of faith in that, because these columns you're gonna slink down, That's just how it's gonna go. Your gripping tight lowers your body height. So they would want you probably to do something along the lines of falling downward. And I'm just not even taking my finger off the forward section. What can we do? We can hit Y. All progress would be lost. Well, geez, we're 16 minutes over a 30-minute episode. I don't want to rage quit this game, but there is this odd possibility here. An hour and a half into this game that was very anticipated, a game I very much wanted to play. We're in this weird position where very quickly here, that as we ran forward, would any of the collectibles that we collected or not collected potentially increased our health or anything? No, because there is no health in this game. Am I just having a bad gamer moment where I just can't figure it out, or what? Maybe I don't need to press forward so much. That might be it. Like maybe by holding the right trigger and pressing forward, I'm causing a little bit too much movement. Maybe I should just feather the right trigger. But honestly, my finger just wants to lock down on that. On the right trigger. It just always wants to move forward, like in any game, frankly. Like very few games out there where I would want to feather or slow down. Alright, and I can feather the left trigger somewhat. Let's see. There seems to be no way that would work. Like, no way. And if he holds my tail, then I can't go as high as I'd like anyways. Would it possibly have helped had I not spun this? Is there some way I could maybe spin this the other direction? Nope. It's spun that way forever. And is this the equivalent of a boss fight that the game is going to give us? Because I guess nothing else would really make sense. Let's see. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this recording. Lazy Lagoons, the 6th level of however many levels there are. So what I'm going to do off screen is I'm going to look online to see if there's any kind of tutorial as far as how to control the map. I'm going to look up to see if there's a solution to this section. I'm going to look up how many levels there are after that point, if there really isn't a tutorial to control the snake or anything like that. And if I can't do any of that, then I guess the next recording we're going to oddly just rage quit. Because there's nothing more I can do. Like, sure, I could lazily run around the island, but the fact that you are trapped on this island and you cannot go any further until you have all 3 collectibles, it just ruins it. Maybe we could go into arcade mode and play the other levels, but I don't think we can play the other levels until we've beaten them in the main story level. So that's another problem. And let's not beat around the bush here. There's no difficulty setting here. And yeah, I don't see the B button doing anything. Maybe if we changed the controls to easy, that might work better too. Yeah, there's only 2 controls, and what does easy do is it moves your movement with the left stick and then grips with both the left and right trigger, and that's pretty much the only thing that changes. Also, I guess you just don't move your head at all on easy mode. Okay, so what controls did I just put on? Let's see. Well, easy probably is a little easier, so I guess we'll give it a try playing on easy controls. That's a weird place to put the difficulty settings. That was under controls. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.